you and for the opportunity to be here this morning. Money makes the world go round. He just said it, and you put me here. And I remember a few things Kyle also said. I remember Kyle from his first trip, his first day in Ghana, and he's given us a lot of work, or a lot of things to think about. Yasmin has put me in a very difficult place. Everyone looks to me to be the solution provider for one of the biggest challenges you entrepreneurs face, and which has been confirmed here today: financing our vision. So today I want to share a few of my thoughts with you, but importantly, I also want to hear from you. If you had endless money, if money was not a problem, will our entrepreneurs here be the growth-minded, opportunity-seeking entrepreneurs that we need to develop our country and change the fortunes of our continent? So I'll talk a little bit about the life cycle of a company, about the different stages for venture financing, navigating our current economic environment, going public, how you can use the Ghana Stock Exchange itself. So I want to spend a little bit of time around this because we get a lot of questions from companies, from entrepreneurs here, about when they can come to the Ghana Stock Exchange, or where do you even need to go when you need a certain type of financing. As entrepreneurs, I'm sure you all remember what was said before about innovation. You don't just get up and do a business because everyone else is doing it, right? You come up with your business idea because you believe you can do something better, you have a new way of serving someone, or you think there's something that hasn't been done yet that you want to do. So that is where many of your ideas start from, that research and development phase. What makes your unique selling process, and why would anyone want to invest or buy that product you're selling? So it starts with your research and development phase. And it goes on to the point where we talk about the young child making lemonade in her kitchen and standing on her street corner and seeing if someone would buy that lemonade. Your proof of concept. How many people have you been able to convert into buyers of that product you are developing? And all of that activity is going on whilst you are developing your business idea. Right through to where you've now developed the business and you are demonstrating to people. You are in that what we call the technological valley of death phase. And then you move to another phase of commercialization. And that whole point of commercialization is getting to a stage where you know people who are ready and willing to buy that product. And if you produce a certain minimum quantity, you'll be able to sell it and break even. When you are very sure of that, you move into your market entry and then your growth and scale phase. So this is the typical life cycle of businesses. And what I'm here to say today is that how you finance that journey is different for each stage of the life cycle. The first part, when you are testing your ideas, is where you raise what we call your seed capital. Where does that money come from? Your own pockets. Some people give up their jobs. You put all your savings into it because you really believe that this idea is going to work. You turn your kitchen into your first factory if you are producing shuttle, right? I'm sure there are some stories in the room about that. You turn your bedroom into the garment factory. Your hall gets converted. I've gone around and seen some of those. So the financing from that stage is not from your bank. It comes from what we call FF&F, family, friends, and the third F is the fools. Fools who believe in your idea because you've nurtured networks in your lifetime, in your professional career, etc., and they believe in the idea you want to push. You haven't shown that you will make this economical, and yet they believe in you. The money for that stage, you have to understand that stage of your business and know that financing comes from that and comes also from a lot of grants. We heard about the Ghana, the GEA today. They give grants. There are other institutions like that around that give grants to support the development of a business idea. As you go to the next stage called the early stage business, you begin to now get into more formalized financing opportunities. We have venture capitals, financing, we have acquisitions and mergers, and strategic alliances, collectively called the partnership stage. We have bank loans, because now you are showing that you are able to sell your products. If you are keeping good books of accounts, you are able to demonstrate to banks that when they give you depositors hard-earned savings, your business will be able to pay back those loans to them. Where are the venture capital finance companies in Ghana? They have associations that you can check online and find out more about them. But through the Venture Capital Trust Fund, there are private equity firms as well, and each of them have areas they focus on and what stage of the business must come in to play for them to invest in. We have innovation centers like the Cosmos Innovation Center, Meltwater Entrepreneurial School for Technology, InnoHub, several of them that you may approach. And today I've printed a little resource that I'll share with Yasmin and the team to give to you to make your search easier. As you move to your later stage, now your business has 50 employees, 80 employees, and that is where we see a lot of our Ghanaian businesses say, I have enough money for myself, for my children, and possibly my grandchildren. It's enough for me. There are too many entrepreneurial challenges. I want to sleep. I've invested in a bit of real estate. I can make rental income from my 10 properties. I don't need to stress anymore. So many companies get stuck at that later stage, at that early stage. They have 80 employees, they are sufficient. What we are looking to transform our businesses are the companies that go to the next stage of development. As the challenges here are significant, we can't have the number of unemployed people that we have and think that if we grow our companies only to this size, it resolves that problem and we'll sleep easier at night. Our teeming unemployed will come after us. So what we are looking for are really the growth-minded entrepreneurs, those that can have companies that survive for 75 years, as our last speaker's company. That's the age of his company, I just Googled that. We want companies that are 100-year-old, like many of the global brands that we're looking for. We want companies that can go out there and take advantage of the AFCFTA opportunities. 1.2 billion people in Africa, needing goods and services worth $7 trillion. How ready are we to take advantage of that? And that stage, the type of financing you need are even bigger types of partnerships, bigger pools of financing. We heard about Silicon Valley. It's trillions and trillions of dollars there, of both public and private money. And that is what we at the Ghana Stock Exchange to facilitate. We've spoken a bit about navigating today's economic environment, so I won't go into that. But I'm going to share a little bit my passion with you. What is the Ghana Stock Exchange? Our value proposition really is about sustainability, building sustainable businesses. And there are a few things that look at how to build a sustainable business. A business that is transparent, that has access to capital, long-term capital, that enables legitimacy, a business that has visibility, that has prestige, because your suppliers, your employees, your business partners all want to work with you. A business that is diversified. That is what we stand for at the Ghana Stock Exchange, because as we've all learned, especially today in this economic environment, is that our sources of income must be diversified. What do we do at the exchange? We are a platform that facilitates the exchange of securities. We enable people that have surplus cash come together with companies like yourselves that need that cash to invest in their businesses. And we sit in the middle and facilitate that discussion and the consummation of that transaction. So there are investors, people that have savings, that want to diversify their income sources on one hand, and there are entrepreneurs like yourself that need that cash, and you give up the shares in your business to the investors who give you the cash you need to grow your businesses. And we provide that through what we call long-term facilities. Where is the cash coming from? Today, the pool of investors comprise high net worth individuals. High net worth individuals are many people among our communities. We have local institutional investors. I'm sure many of you pay your SNIT contributions or pension fund contributions, tier 2, tier 3. About 10 years ago, we liberalized the sector, and it has created a significant pool of investments for all of us. That pension sector, our local institutional investor body today, backed by private pensions, today has over 25 billion Ghana cedis under management. 25 billion with a B. Much of this money keeps going into government securities. And they ask, where are the entrepreneurs stepping up, coming to the market to take advantage of monies your own employees and yourself contribute for our future and for the long-term development of our country. So our local institutional investor population is growing, and it's getting very, very significant. And it is an opportunity for you. Today, out of the 25 billion they have under management, about 10 billion is available looking for opportunities for securities that are listed on the Ghana Stock Exchange. We have equity funds, we have debt funds, we have collective investment funds, and we also have a lot of foreign institutional investors that play on our market. And this together is what we look at for in terms of where does the money come from. The GSC was set up 32 years ago, and we started with our first market, which we call the main market. That's the main market where you see the shares of companies like Unilever, several banks, MTN, etc. listed on them. And I'll show you how much money these companies have raised over the years. In 2013, we realized that our country needs to grow through entrepreneurship. And so we set up our Ghana Alternative Exchange, modeled along London's alternative investment markets, specifically to deal with the challenges of financing for the SME sector. We've had very, very limited success with that market. So far, we have only 6 companies listed on it. But on average, in 2015, when we kicked it off, 5 companies came quickly and raised on average about $500,000 to expand their business in the pharmaceutical, agro-processing sector. So today, I reach out to all of you. Consider our GACS markets. In 2015, we set up our 3rd market, the Ghana fixed income market. And the Ghana fixed income market is where you go to raise long-term debt capital. Long-term debt capital. So far, most of the companies that have used that have been other financial institutions who come and raise 5-year, what we call corporate bonds or 5-year loans. Essentially, you take that money, you pay the interest, and then at the end of the 5 years is when you return the money. The longest bond we have there is about a 10-year corporate bond issued by a Ghanaian company. This graph shows how many companies have come to the market so far. At the end of September, we have 37 issuers on our equity market. And the equity market is essentially where you invite other shareholders into your business. And I'd love to have a conversation with the entrepreneurs here around how and what are the challenges of inviting other shareholders into our businesses. What we call the market capitalization, the value of all the companies listed on our equity markets here is about 64 billion Ghana cedis. Many markets aim for about 50% of the gross domestic product of the country. In Ghana, at the Ghana Stock Exchange, we are at about 15%. We are looking to work with all of you to grow our share of GDP, double it at least within the next 5 years. I talked about companies that have been here to raise equity capital. As you can see, SIC Insurance has raised about 32.5 million. IIL is intravenous infusions, which in 2015 raised about 7 million Ghana cedis back then. The largest IPO we've had on our market is our own MTN Ghana. They raised over 1 billion in 2018, as if MTN needs to raise any more capital. But they came to the market and took advantage of this. And so why not our own Ghanaian entrepreneurs? On our debt market, we have about 200 securities listed on it, raised by about 13 different companies and governments as well. Our challenge is to grow the corporate side, the private sector side. As you can see, as at September, the value of corporate securities on the fixed income side was about 30 billion cedis compared to 160 billion for governments. So we want more corporates to come and take advantage of this market. Here are some of the companies, as I said, on the debt market that have raised over 13 billion cedis since 2016. 13 billion cedis. We have mostly financial sector companies, but we also have one infrastructure business there. We've made the requirements to come to the market quite easy. Easy for anyone to come to the market. On our main board, or our main market, essentially your capital at the time you are listing should be 1 million cedis. We ask that you are willing to sell up to 25%, 20% to the public. This is where a test of your partnership skills come in. Opening up your business to sell 20% to the public, to come and share the burden as well as the rewards with you and give you the capital you need to grow. Sometimes it's said that it's better to be a 10% shareholder in a billion CD company than be a 100% shareholder of a 100 CD company. That is really the choice we throw to you as entrepreneurs in the room. So it's not about the percentage you end up holding. It's about the value of what you're creating. A minimum spread of 100 shareholders, but more important for us is the corporate governance practices, your value systems. Are you no-nonsense? Are you transparent? Do you care about your stakeholders, your employees, your customers, the environment? That corporate governance practice. We don't care how much money you make, but without good corporate governance practices, we don't believe you'll be a sustainable business. And everything we stand about, and I'm sure all of you as entrepreneurs stand for, is about building your businesses in a sustainable manner. So we focus a lot on your corporate governance practices because that is what allows you to attract the investors that we are looking for. On the alternative market, the GACs, you can see the minimum stated capital is 250,000 Ghana cedis. If you have raised 250,000 Ghana cedis, you can list on the Ghana Stock Exchange's GACs market.
I think so.
It's not a barrier to any of, or to many of you today. 20 shareholders. If you have 20 customers, you have 20 shareholders. They've invested in your business. You qualify. What's the period of existence? We are saying 1 year. Even your ideas, so long as you can find investors to back you, can come onto the market, and from there, grow your growth orientation to grow into the bigger leagues. On the Ghana fixed income market as well, similarly, very low or very moderate barriers to entry for there. The process to actually list on the market, you appoint your transaction team, you hold your investor roadshows to help them, to explain your ideas to them, to get that investor buy-in. You do what we often call a book building, where your investors are saying, okay, this is how much I'll put into your business. You finalize your investment highlights, you assess your investment appetite, and you launch your offer, either through an IPO, an initial public offer, a private placement through selected investors, and we will list it and we will start trading on the market. The second part of my presentation really is about the opportunity for every one of us in the room to invest on the Ghana Stock Exchange. These graphs are very interesting for me. Currently, we have about 1 million investor accounts in what we call our electronic holding of all investors that are investing directly on the stock exchange. About 800,000 people buy treasury bills, and about 200,000 people buy shares. In a country of 33 million people, 1 million direct investor accounts. Today, again, it's my invitation to all of us to open investor accounts, because it's from that we amalgamate our funds and give to businesses like yourselves. Have we invested in other people's businesses so that we can also attract investments into ours? Of the accounts we have on the equity side, there are about 200,000 shareholders. Our domestic investors hold 33% of the shares, and they could comprise 214,000 of the account holders. Foreign investors, 1,900 of them, hold 67% of the shares. Every time we have dividends paid out, 67% goes away. The opportunity is there for all of us to partner. So here I want to see Ghanaians step up and invest in these businesses. A lot of people wonder, does the stock exchange even make money? We can see that, like many other markets, there are ups and downs. But in our 32 years, on average, we've returned about 25% per annum to investors. So whilst there have been ups and downs, the general trajectory, as you can see, is upwards. Sometimes people say, oh, Ghana Stock Exchange, it doesn't react to anything. Nothing moves the Ghana Stock Exchange unlike other markets. I want to show you this graph today to show that indeed our markets also responds to what's happening in the economy. The last 10 years have been a bit difficult for our markets, as you can see. We came through a power crisis in the 2014 to 2017 era. Our markets were down 11%, 15% in that era. We saw the lag of the financial sector cleanup, right? Our markets again were down 12%, 15%. Last year we rebounded. We were the second best performing market in Africa and one of the best performing in Africa. The markets gained 48%. In dollar terms, we were up about 38% last year overall. And so far this year, like every other market, we are down about 11%. So the GSE responds to what is happening. When there's a power crisis, our companies feel it. And just as we are seeing, the market goes down. Investors also feel it. They are not coming to the market a lot more. A couple of times we've been voted the best market in the entire world. In the entire world, we've been voted the best in terms of returns to investors. And that is why our market attracts a significant number of foreign investors onto the market. On the debt market, we've grown very quickly since 2016 to be the fourth largest debt market in Africa. So far this year, we've traded about 174 billion with the volume of securities compared to 208 billion volume traded all of last year. As you can see, every year our volume traded has doubled compared to, except for this year where we'll go up only by double digits. So I want to leave you thoughts as I've been thinking about what we are going through currently. And I came across this famous quote, or this timely quote, by a writer, an author called Michael Hoff, who in this book called Those Who Remain, a post-apocalyptic book, says that hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men. And weak men create hard times. We are in hard times. Let's rise to the opportunity and be the strong men and women that will create the good times. May we break the chain at that point, that we will continue to be strong men and women and not forget in the good times that is when we foolproof our companies, our revenues, our pockets, our nation against hard times, so that when hard times come, we are able to withstand the shocks better than others. Thank you very much.